I think in life I've had my fair share of bad days, some of which I had no control over whatsoever. It was just things that really didn't go my way and things just kind of happened. But other times, which I think were the worst kind of bad days that I've had, were the days where I had control over this. I had control over the kind of day I could have had. But instead I chose the wrong route. I chose the wrong decisions, and it resulted in me having terrible days. And something I found in common with all the bad days that I've had ever were that at that point in time, I had really bad habits. Every single day I would wake up at 11, it was the norm. I would play games for 5 hours knowing I had work still to do, that was the norm. I would barely eat the entire day, that was the norm. I would go very light in comparison to the other days, and didn't train as hard in the gym. I just simply wasn't who I was before. And that's the real big focus on this video, habits. Now the idea of this video came from one of the videos that my mom was watching. She likes to watch a bunch of TED Talks and things that just help her in general, right? But one of the TED Talks that she was talking about was really focused on this one singular quote. And the quote was this: "You don't rise to the level of your expectations. You fall to the level of your training." And I think this quote pretty much reflects basically anything in life. And the same goes for the quality of your days. The quality of your days do not rise to the level of your expectations. They fall to the level of your habits. Meaning, bad habits, bad day. Good habits, good day. But of course, having a good or bad day, 99% of it, is up to your opinion, your perspective. Is very subjective. If you gave the exact same day to two different people with differing opinions, one guy could say this day is absolutely amazing, and you do everything you would have dreamed of. But the other guy could have said this day was a complete waste, and you just wasted a day. So first and foremost, you have to change the way, or at least define some of the things that you would consider a successful day, some of the things that you have to do, and some of the things that happen for you to consider this day as a win. But you also have to look at your day in a different type of light. Because I think most of you watching are rather hard on yourself, right? You want to improve, you want to be better. I was the same way too. But the way I think you should look at your day and judge it is, firstly, you want to call out the things that you do wrong. Call out your mistakes and realize that they're there. But when you do realize them, don't be too harsh on yourself. You got to be able to laugh at yourself a little bit and realize that, we need improvement, and not just call ourselves a useless, worthless piece of crap. And really just try and find one thing to move on, carrying the next day, and improve on that. Apply it to the next day. And I think that's really the way you should go about living day to day. But now let's actually get into the second part, being habits, which is the main bit of this video. Now I'm not gonna go into how you can build healthy habits and all that stuff, because there's a million other videos out there talking about this, giving advice, and all the advice is generally the same. You wanna stay consistent, you wanna do this every day, you wanna make it easy for yourself, set up environments, all that stuff is really easy to find. And I think most of you have heard that already, and you probably didn't click on this video wanting to hear that. So instead, I want to convince you of, or at least let you know, why habits, good habits especially, are so important. Because I think we all universally can agree good habits are a good thing. We want to have these, but most of the times we don't really question this or know why we should do this. It's more so something we're just fed and internally believe. So to show you the power of habits, I want you to imagine as if you were running up and down hills constantly. And imagine the entire duration of those hills is the representative of a day. And each hill that you have to overcome is a different thing that you have to do. Now, when you go into a new day, everything seems a little difficult, right? Waking up, you don't want to get up, your bed's kind of comfy. And so there's two paths you can go down. Either reinforcing the good habit, getting up immediately, or rotting away more in bed, making the activity even harder, or that quote-unquote hill harder to climb over. These habits essentially are this: you automate actions. You don't need thought, you don't need motivation, you just do it because you know you have to do it. It's instinct. And instinct is not something we can control a lot of the times. It's something that appears and compulses us to act. We can't control it, it just happens. But if we can make our instinct to act and do the good things, well, that's only going to help us more and more. And really, that's the idea of habits. You turn these things into an instinct that allows you to immediately do it without thought, without need of motivation, without need of discipline either, but you do it simply because you know you have to do it. It becomes a responsibility that is internalized. It's like a father trying to protect his children or a mother protecting her children. It's automatic, right? And so by building habits, you ingrain these things into your head, and it makes it so that the things that you might value in a day that you consider as a win, if you automate those things into habits, things become a lot easier. And so back to that hill example, if you start automating and creating those habits, the hills no longer seem as steep. They're a lot lower and a lot easier to climb. And so there's first a lot less resistance to start. The hills are no longer as steep, and you don't have to climb as high either. That's the really important thing, just making things easier for yourself. Habits are there for a reason, so make use of them. Use them to make your life a little easier and not have to think about every little action. Now, of course, I'm not saying to be brainless and just go autopilot through your entire life, but still, for a large majority of the things, we will autopilot, or else you're gonna go a little insane. And autopiloting some of the necessary stuff that might be a little monotonous is what I think is really important to get these habits with. But I'm not sure if this example really made sense or even really kind of convinced you that habits are important. But I really just want to stress that these habits will really benefit you. Just living and going through an experience or having set up habits before, I know that they help you incredibly. Comparing my life with bad habits and good habits is a night and day difference. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me here today. I do appreciate you for coming here today and watching all the way through. But I hope you found something interesting or helpful from this video. Besides that, that's pretty much it from me here today. So just stay consistent, stay disciplined, and keep on building that relationship with God, all right? Now give me a kiss. Mwah.